Well, hey friends, how you doing today? So, we do a lot of videos doing product reviews and tractor stuff, a lot of LS tractor stuff, um, and a lot of lawn mowers and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought I'd kind of talk about what we're doing out here. This property we're on has been in the family for a few generations now. My grandfather had it, my grandma and my dad, and now we're out here. And boy, I tell you, man, a place like this is about 10 acres out in the Pacific Northwest. It's really hard to grow food in the Pacific Northwest compared to some other places, I think, but it's easy to grow blackberries and invasive species and stuff. So when we got in here, it just hadn't really been taken care of in a long time. The grass was, higher than your head, and where I'm at right now, this barn behind me, and there's some grapes and some raspberries and stuff. This was all under blackberries. You couldn't even walk back here. You would need a machete to get in here. I mean, this whole area here, it doesn't look gorgeous right now, but let me tell you, it was something. I mean, just blackberries all the way up to the roof of this thing. So we had to come in and kind of rehab as quick as we could to get this thing to where it was just able to even walk back into the forest. There's a forested area back there. Yeah, I mean, getting into the barn here wasn't possible. I mean, all this area I'm walking on, you couldn't get to. There was a pile of tires here, big giant pile of tires here that were just covered in blackberries, and trees growing here and all sorts of stuff that were just in the way. And like all this stuff, all these alders, all this stuff, these sprouted on their own, and now we've got to take them out to kind of make this place more usable, and then replace them with species of trees that are a little more beneficial. Try to do nature's job for it. Anyway, long story short, the other problem we had is the whole pasture was covered in blackberries too. You couldn't use it, so it took almost a full season just to cut the blackberries out. And then we had a little problem with the tractor with a little hydraulic leak, so we couldn't use the cutter about midway through the season. So we had to just start pulling the blackberries out with the grapple, and not supposed to burn out here, so we didn't burn them. I don't like burning them anyway, because you waste all those nutrients, and blackberries are a carbon sink just like a tree is. And so if you burn that, all the carbon goes up into the air, and that's, some burning's natural, but I don't need to contribute to that. So this is another thing. We ended up with, big piles of brush and blackberries just from yanking them out. And this is the small pile. This is all blackberries. There's another big one out back. So we've got a plan now. We're going to do some hugelkultur and bury them and let those nutrients turn back into topsoil. But that's not what we're talking about right now. Well, it kind of is, because we reclaimed the pasture by tearing them out. But once we tore them out, the pasture was just dirt. So that's what we've been on a mission to do, is take this pasture from blackberries to pasture grass, more like this stuff. This is all, halfway decent pasture grass. But look, these blackberries come up fast. And they're tiny now, but when they get big, they'll be as big as your thumb. And once they establish themselves, they'll shade out all the pasture grass. So if you look here, we pulled blackberries out of here. There's no grass. It's done. So we're going to go through and reseed. So the process we did was we cut out the blackberries with the tractor, or removed them. We then took a landscape rake and kind of raked through the dirt, hoping to kind of expose the root balls of the blackberries and kind of rot them out. And then we would start just mowing with the lawnmower every week and mow off all the blackberries that come up, because they don't really like being trimmed back. They like to grow big and shade stuff out. So I figured that would kind of knock them down a notch. Then went through and tilled up all the pasture. A few times, and then let it set for a little bit, and then I tried to put some lime out, and the lime didn't go too good. It was just lime we had laying around, so whatever. And then took a spreader and spread pasture seed everywhere. And then rolled it in with a roller, tried to press it into the ground. And, well, now we got to figure out if all that worked or if we just wasted, you know, $600 in seed. We also didn't fertilize. Fertilizer prices are really high. And we figured the ground's probably good enough from being an old pasture that the grass seed should take. This is Washington State. You know, you have to mow every other week during the spring because the grass gets so thick out here. You don't need to fertilize out here. So anyway, that's the process we did. And then we're going to show you some updates here week by week, so you can see, you know, doing that process without fertilizer. And they always recommend fertilizer, and maybe not really pressing the seed into the earth correctly. We just used the tools that we had, which was a roller, to try to press them into the dirt a little ways. You know, maybe we should have made a harrow or something to put the dirt over them, but we're going to see if it worked. You know, maybe shortcutting was a bad idea. So that's what's coming up. We'll show you 4 weeks of updates here, so you can see the results of maybe not doing things the correct way and being pretty inexperienced. So this is like a real farming video, kind of. We're trying to actually do a farm thing, have a pasture for animals to graze on. So here we go. Coming up first is week 1. Be real honest here, I'm getting a little nervous. We put in this pasture seed like 1 week ago, and it rained immediately, which was good, so we didn't have to rain, but didn't use any fertilizer, just kind of trusted the ground to be fertile. And then we had a freeze, so that's not good. And but it's been raining since, so that is good. Kind of temperate. We had a 70-degree day as well. It's been a wild week, but week 1, here's what the pasture looks like. Yeah, there's no pasture. There's a lot of seeds. Lots of little seeds. And I can't imagine the birds aren't finding them. Here's a huge patch. And yeah, I don't really see any little sprouts yet. So, did we waste $600 worth of seed? We'll find out. Okay, here we are, week 2. I think it's been freezing at night more than it's been not freezing. I don't have a lot of hope for this field right now, so this will be the first look I've given in a week. Kind of crossing my fingers that there's something here, or the seeds aren't looking like they've all been eaten. We shall see. Okay, we're coming up on a... Oh, I see something. There's some little sprouts. Now this area, of course, had about 2 billion seeds put in here. but that's promising. Now, if only the rest of the field would look like that. Okay, here we are, week 3. This is, we need to have some results here. It hasn't been freezing at night. It's been raining, but I've been seeing the birds out here like crazy. And I'm worried that all the pasture seed got pecked up or just went dormant or died, or I don't know. Maybe we should have fertilized, or maybe we should have put dirt down. My grandpa was the child of sharecroppers, and he said, man, if you ever want to meet a gambler, you know, you go find yourself a farmer. He says farmers are just either too dumb or too stubborn to give up. You'll have 4 years where you grow a crop, put all your money into it, borrow from everybody, you beg, steal, whatever you gotta do to get that crop in, and you get no results. And you know, that 5th year you hit and you pay off all your debts and maybe buy yourself something nice, and then it's back into that cycle again. So let's take a look at this. I'm not saying we're farmers here, but it kind of feels the same, man. We rolled the dice not buying fertilizer because fertilizer costs were so high this year. Yeah, take a look at this. Oh, baby. That looks a lot like pasture grass. Holy smokes. Now that's the part where we dropped a lot of seed, and there's still seed just showing here that didn't do nothing. But take a look at this. That's green grass, baby. It's not real thick. It's not real thick at all. But it's out here. I mean, it's sparse. But this is all green. Oh man. Oh boy, and I went through some of these parts a whole lot, and ay, caramba, it is not thick. Here, look at this. There, see, there's a grass. There's a grass. Where's all the other grasses? And there was visible seed all through in here, so some of it got smashed in the ground, but some got picked off. And I really went through this area. There's a little patch of grass. There's another little patch. Oh my goodness gracious. It's kind of coming in. I mean, it's green. Oh, look up here. It's thicker up here. I don't know. It's coming in. It's green in back. It's green over there. This green patch is already here, but there's another patch over there. We're gonna need another week. So we'll give it to week 4 here and see what week 4 is looking like. I mean, if you can't make grass grow in Washington State, it's time to just pack your bags. So it's promising so far, but we'll find out. One more week. Let's get to week 4. Well, it's week 4. Not a lot has changed. You know, everything's still, you know, green behind me, so that's good. Now, of course, you know, this whole area was under blackberries, and so, you know, we're trying to outcompete them with some pasture grass and get something on the ground, because under the blackberries it was just dirt. So this is what we're seeing now. Pasture grass is growing up real nice. But also, the blackberries are are coming back. We didn't want to poison this dirt to get rid of the blackberries, and they are very hard to fight. So what you kind of do is you get your grass in, and then we're going to just keep mowing down this pasture and maybe get some animals on it, and they'll hopefully eat at the blackberries as well, and eventually the blackberries just give up. They don't like being trimmed back constantly, whereas grass kind of does. Grass likes to be, eaten down and then growing. So, that's what we got. We got this grass. It's taken off pretty well. Seems to be settling in nicely. We're getting tons of rain. That's positive. We're getting some sunshine here and there. That's great. And we'll see if we can get this stuff to get a little length on it and kind of establish, and then we can go through and mow down the grass and the blackberries. There's still some patchy spots. Not a lot of growth here, but a little more growth here. But a very good start. And instead of spending the extra $600-700 on fertilizer, we could put that money towards more seed, and overseed this during the winter, which maybe it would have grown like gangbusters with fertilizer, but that's the risk you take. So we're gonna let this just keep growing and do some more updates on it to see if we can defeat this blackberry menace. I mean, they're already coming back in force. Look at this. I had all these cut down and now they are back, growing up into the trees. So that's just what you fight with out here, is these stinking blackberries. So here's to hoping, we'll do an update on this again, maybe another month from now, and see what this pasture is looking like. And hopefully we have some really good news. In the meantime, we'll see you.